of oil of oregano, now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Alex Jones here. For the last 2 years, I've been working with top doctors, nutritionists, and chemists to design a nutraceutical formulation that has truly life-changing health benefits. So many other formulations out there contain toxic ingredients, synthetic additives, and even GMOs. Introducing the all-new Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Blend, crafted with over 14 key ancient herbs and extracts to supercharge and prepare your body for what experts admit is the most dangerous season of the year. We have rejected hundreds of other formulations in our quest to bring you what is simply the most powerful and comprehensive proprietary formula that we have ever created in the realm of herbal immunity. Experience the benefits of combining over 14 ancient herbs and extracts with exciting new advances in nutraceutical science. Now is the time to secure Ancient Defense for you and your family. Visit InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, your host today. We're going to be joined in the next hour with our reporters who are in Chicago, reporting about the black site exposed by the Guardian's reporters. People being detained without being charged, people being tortured, people, some claim, have died there. The same types of things that we've seen at Gitmo. Why should we expect that if the government doesn't have to be held to account for lying to Congress, for lying to the government, as we saw James Clapper in the last segment we replayed when he was asked by Ron Wyden. Ron Wyden knew what the NSA was doing. He knew they were doing it illegally. He was putting him on the hot spot, trying to get him to confess to his illegal activities. But of course he lied, and his lies were eventually exposed. Now we have Michael Hayden, who was director of the NSA at the time, formerly director of the CIA. Now he's retired, and he's going around trying to make the case that what they did was defending the Constitution. No, he was defending the government. He was defending his bureaucracy from illegal actions. He was hiding and covering up the actions that they were taking. If we allow them to continue with this dragnet surveillance state, if we allow them to get by not having warrants, not having to go before a judge to get search warrants, just collect everything on everybody as they wish, if we allow them to ignore the Fourth Amendment, they're going to ignore, and they are ignoring, all of our rights that were explicitly protected and all of our rights that were not explicitly protected but protected by the Ninth Amendment. Remember that the Ninth Amendment, the ninth of the Articles of the Bill of Rights, said that if we don't specifically enumerate a right, that doesn't mean that it's not important, and it doesn't mean that we have relinquished it to the central government. And then essentially making the case even stronger with the 10th Amendment, saying things that have not been expressly delegated to the central government are reserved to the states and to the people. So if we let them get by with this, we are going to see that we no longer have habeas corpus. We're not going to have trial by jury. We're not going to have trials of any sorts. We're going to have an NDAA type of country. And of course, Obama's NDAA, indefinite detention without trial, that has been going on in Chicago for quite some time. And of course, Obama and Rahm Emanuel, who was his chief of staff at the time, very well knew that. So what we're seeing in Chicago with this investigation that Joe Biggs is looking at, this is very important to understand what's going on. There is not isolated to there. It was exported from there to Gitmo, and it's being exported to the rest of the country. And we need to look at this, and we need to reform it. We cannot allow this to continue. Now, I was playing the remarks from Michael Hayden in the last segment because I think it's very important to disassemble this guy's lies. And we need to walk this back and look at what these people are trying to do to our country. This is a civil war on our country, destroying our legal framework, destroying rights that have been there since Magna Carta, that have been respected throughout the English-speaking world for centuries. They are now taking these things down. They're laying an infrastructure of tyranny and using the latest and highest technology to do so. It's a very dangerous situation. I want to go back to that report. We're going to go to Joe Biggs in the next hour. Real quickly, a plug. I mentioned earlier in the show that Super Male Vitality is now sold out. We still have some Super Female Vitality that we're honoring the 20% off. That was the special in February. We also have on special a limited stock of Buy 2 Survival Shield X2. That's our nascent iodine. And you get 2 Ancient Defense for free. That's at the InfoWars store. That's 2 bottles of Survival Shield X2, and you get 1 bottle of Ancient Defense for free. That's at the InfoWarsStore.com. I want to go back to this report that we did about a month ago on the Nightly News. This was Michael Hayden talking at Washington and Lee. And, of course, what brings this up is the fact that he had the audacity to look people in the eye at CPAC and say, Judge Napolitano is an unrelenting libertarian, and so am I. He's not a libertarian at all. He doesn't value our individual liberty. He doesn't respect our rights. He doesn't respect the law or the Constitution. Here's more of what he had to say. I want to pick up this report we were playing last time. This is right after we played the back and forth between Senator Wyden talking to James Clapper. And James Clapper also was lying and could not look Ron Wyden in the face. We'll pick up with my comments. Okay, so he says that all the senators, all their staffers knew that the 215 program was being abused. And I agree with him. Ron Wyden should have come out and said it. But I think it's a bit more interesting to hear the head of the NSA lie to Congress, lie to the American people. The whole program is a lie. The way that they're using the 215 section that they were given under the Patriot Act, even if that were constitutional, they're still exceeding their authority because that was supposed to be going after people that essentially you could get a search warrant for, although you didn't have to go before a real judge, you just had to go before the FISA judge. But listen to what else he has to say.
Why was Wyden trying to get Clapper to say what he was saying? Because Wyden, in the committee, was losing the vote on 215 consistently 15-2.
So you put those 2 clips together and you understand that all the senators knew what was going on that were in the Senate Intelligence Committee. They knew that 215 was being abused, that they were going beyond their legal authority, which went beyond their constitutional authority. Their staffers knew. And Ron Wyden could not get them to do the right thing. 15-2, they were going to allow this continued abuse by the intelligence community. That's what he's saying. He's really making a case for how corrupt the Senate is. And it's gotten even worse. Ron Wyden is no longer there. And now we have Senator Burr from North Carolina who says he doesn't think there should be any public oversight of anything the intelligence community does. Listen to this last clip here.
Oh, your talk today about 215? 215 is such a safe haven. 215 is legislated by Congress. I was doing metadata collection under the President's raw Article 2 authorities from October 7th, 2001 forward.
Catch that? Look at the smug expression on his face. He's so happy. He didn't need any 215. I don't need no stinking law. I'm a law unto myself. I take orders directly from the President. Or maybe he gives orders directly to the President. Who knows? They do whatever they wish. He doesn't need the 215. He doesn't need a law from Congress. He doesn't need the Patriot Act. and he could care less about the Constitution. Listen to what else he has to say.
The 215 program doesn't begin with the Patriot Act. It begins with the private order I got from President Bush. And we decided it was lawful and consistent with the president's authorities as commander-in-chief.
Yeah, we decided what the law is. They did it in secret. And of course, you're not going to be allowed to know anything that he does because that would hurt his effectiveness. To look at people who are interesting, not people who are bad guys. Tell us what you think in the comments below. I think this is Okay, that's a report from about a month ago. We ran that on the Nightly News. Those were the amazing comments that Michael Hayden made at Washington and Lee as part of a legal forum there. Can you believe that? Of course, he had the audacity to go to CPAC and say that he was a libertarian. And as I pointed out, I think Mark Dice had the best comment when he said he meant to say a Luciferian, not a libertarian. Now, it's not just looking at our internet activity. Of course, we've talked about how the government is rapidly closing the noose on our movements in this country, coming up with autonomous cars, coming up with many different devices that they're going to put into our cars to not only control them, but to monitor them. And of course, when they monitor what you're doing, they're going to force you to stand down and turn over control of your car to them. That's what this is fundamentally about. You may not know it, but you have a black box in your car if you're going to buy one this year. Now, there was an interesting article from the National Motorists Association written by its president talking about black boxes and Orwell. He says, imagine that you're inserting a benign microchip in a person's earlobe and you're monitoring that person's every move. Well, that's no longer science fiction. It's perfectly feasible, and of course, tens of millions will willingly comply with the requirement for that. All you need are the right incentives. And you say, no, that would never happen in America. We would never stand for it. He says, well, I got news for you. He said they will. In fact, you already have that. The only difference is that the chip is not in your ear, it's in your car, and it's soon going to be in your bike. Well, this is not something that is just watching you move around like your phone. No, he says, private and government transportation interests are licking their chops for years in anticipation of being able to charge and to tax motorists on the basis of how, when, and where they travel. He says, imagine you got an accident and you're going 40 miles an hour in a 30 zone and somebody pulls in front of you. It's clearly his fault, but they look at the black box and they see you were going too fast. And then they go back and they say, oh, you have gone several times in the last 6 months, up to 90 miles an hour. Perhaps you were passing somebody in a speeding zone, doing it safely, going up to 87, passing somebody that was going 60 in a 70 zone. Nevertheless, they will use that to say you're a dangerous driver and deny your claim. And that's not where it's going to stop. It will continue to go there until we stop these people from their surveillance state. Stay with us. In the next hour, we're going to be talking to Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs in Chicago about the black sites there. Stay with us.
Using unparalleled research in the development of a synergistic formulation based around the key concepts of superoxygenation, the next level in cleansing is here. With key ingredients backed by real clinical studies, the new Oxy powder, available through InfoWars Life, was invented during Dr. Group's research on the toxification of our bodies. Many herbal colon cleansers are harsh on the body and contain cheap and potentially dangerous ingredients, oftentimes full of synthetic fillers, GMOs, additives, or worse. Gently start cleaning your body with easy capsules that start working while you sleep. Oxy powder does not require time off work, and there's no need for bad tasting concoctions. Instead, Oxy powder slowly releases monoatomic oxygen into the intestinal tract and body. Experience the astonishing cleansing power of superoxide and ozonide technology. Go to InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com to get started with Oxy powder, or call 1-888-253-3139.
For all of recorded history, civilizations around the world praised the health benefits of silver. At InfoWars Life, our mission is to bring you the highest quality, purest, cleanest, effective colloidal silver on the market today for the lowest price available. You don't have to be a doctor to know. The fall and winter months are the most dangerous time of year in North America when it comes to you and your family's health. InfoWarsLife.com is very excited to announce our biggest run yet of Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now, InfoWarsLife.com has taken colloidal silver to the next level using a cutting-edge technique that is free of toxic artificial additives. Now more than ever, it's important to stock up on high-quality Silver Bullet from InfoWarsLife.com. No survival chest is complete without Silver Bullet. Secure your Silver Bullet today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Silver Bullet.